Alright guys, so today I'm going to be reviewing X-Men 92, House of 92. At least I hope it's 92, because, yeah, this comic, I don't know how to read Roman numerals, and if you can tell by the cover, yes, this is basically what if the X-Men 92 cartoon did an adaptation of the Krakoa era of X-Men. Now I know what you're thinking. Multi. The Krakoa era is dumb. Why do you like it? I like it because it's different. And I also, while I do think that there were some problems writing-wise, that's because there were a ton of people writing different characters. Furthermore, I understand, the idea and love the idea of Krakoa, of the mutants making their own nation, because I don't know about you, but if I was a person who was watching my people get consistently genocided for only existing, if I watched my people and also live under constant threat of being genocided by people who are total hypocrites of the human race, getting horribly slaughtering people on a daily basis, and then a group of people that I am a part of said, "Hey, we're building our own nation that will govern by our own laws, and you'll be protected," I'd be like, "Sign me the fuck on." Now, yes, I'm aware that the Krakoa era of X-Men does have some bad points, but I think there's some good, I've read way more good than bad. I think people are just don't like the cultish idea of it. But anyway, so you're probably wondering, how does this differ? Well, for starters, this kind of has a little context to it, because I thought it was just going to be its own comic. I thought it was going to be its own comic storyline. It actually is a sequel to the X-Men 92 comic that came prior. I didn't read that, so I'm going to have to go look for that and read it, which was also a sequel to the X-Men 92 Secret Wars tie-in. So there's 3 volumes in doing so. But really, you could read this without context. All that you need to know is that in the previous volume, Jubilee was killed during a Sentinel attack on Xavier's Institute. So, yeah, that's really it. But here's the big thing. Remember when I said, this was an adaptation of that? Yeah, here's the difference. Jubilee is the one with Moira McTaggart's mutant power. It turns out that her mutant ability she has a second mutant ability to have infinite lives and be able to restart the mutant mutant timeline, just like McTaggart had. Yeah, I think that's kind of cool. I mean, first off, it's a different universe, so it doesn't matter. Secondly, Jubilee's been always the heart of this show. She was the heart and soul of this cartoon. So, yeah, it makes sense that she would probably, just like Moira was in the comic book, it would make sense if we did this in a cartoon that we would give Jubilee this power, because, yeah, she's the centerpiece of the cartoon. She's our eyes going into the X-Men. So, yeah. But yeah, she goes to Xavier and tells them, look, the only way we stop the Sentinels, because every timeline and every life I've had, they always win. The Sentinels win. So here's what we need to do. You guys need to get off your bullshit, work together, and build a new island nation. Now, you may be thinking, well, how does this work? Well, here's the thing. This follows the cartoon logic. So we're only using characters from the cartoons. That's really it. We're really only using, give or take, I will get into more of, other characters that get introduced. But we're using the idea and the rules set by the comic. It's not oh, we're going to get this... We do get versions of comic book characters in the Krakoa era, but that doesn't really play a big part of it. So, for instance, the 5 is a lot different. And I also, side note, I actually really enjoy... 2 things. One, those info guides that the X-Men comics have, little info notes and whatever. It's like a 90s version of that. I love it. So the 5 in here are Proteus, Tempo, Healer, Karma, and Fabian Cortez. And how they explain how that 5, makes the Genesis eggs, and it's oh, that makes sense. Especially with Proteus, he literally fucking alters reality. Of course. So yeah. The other thing, this basically adapts a majority of major X-Men storylines. Like, for one issue, they adapt X of Swords, the 10 of Swords event. Like, the third issue, but instead of Lady Saturnine, it's Archon, if you remember him. And actually they bring in Genesis, this version of Genesis, Apocalypse Wife. They also do a cool thing with Dark Beast, where they actually set up like the whole thing of if you die on Archon's world, then you come back different. Well, Beast dies there and comes back as Dark Beast, and I was like, oh, that's a really fucking cool idea, because that's what it like. The whole you come back different was a thing in Ten of Swords, so to do that, and that's how you cleverly bring in Dark Beast, is really cool. They also have Orchis, which is made up by known X-Men villains. We also get some other cool stuff in here, and it's like the thing of it is like it's really the thing that does kind of hold it back just a wee bit is that it's 5 issues. Steve Fox, the writer, was literally like, I only got 5 issues to work with. I'm just gonna throw everything. I'm gonna do like Asteroid X, and as a way to bring up X-Men Red and do a 10 of Swords in 1 issue. It ties in pretty well. I will say that the ending just they're like like it felt like Fox was like, I gotta wrap everything up in 1 issue in the 5th issue because I'm only getting 5. But it is actually surprisingly well paced for a 5-issue comic that's literally telling now over 5 years of stories. Like, it's literally trying to tell 5 years of storytelling in 5 issues. And they do it well, and they make it just like the cartoon and make you feel like you can hear Carl Dodd's voice, you can hear the other people's voices when you're hearing Wolverine. It's all just a lot of fun. Like, that's what I really like about this comic. Is there needed context for it? A little. But, yeah, who knew you could make the Krakoa era of X-Men in the 90s cartoon and make it work? Because I didn't think it was like, well, I don't know if this will work, but then, sure enough, it does. And they do reference the rest of the 90s era of the Marvel animated cartoons. I really do like that. I really do like how they managed to tie in the other Marvel cartoons as well, briefly. So, yeah. It's a lot of fun. While it does adapts a lot of things from the Krakoa era of X-Men, it does them vastly differently and does them in the context of the cartoon. So I really appreciate that. I really do like that. And even if you don't like the Krakoa era of X-Men, give this a shot, please. Like, this was a lot of fun. This just flew right under the radar. I don't know how people didn't know about this, but this like legit flew right under the radar. Should it have benefited from 1 more issue? I really do think it should have gotten at least made it a 6-issue miniseries rather than a 5. But having said that, though, Steve Fox does really well with what he's given. Like, does it kind of like scramble to the end? It kind of does. But for what it's worth, he makes it fun. He makes every issue count. It's like he knew, hey, I'm not going to have a lot of pages, so I better make every single issue I write, worth every page, every panel, down to the last word, worth it, because, yeah. And again, this just flew under everyone. I didn't hear any hype about this comic. I didn't hear anything about it other than I just found it. Like, that's how little this got attention. Was, yeah, this X-Men book just flew under the radar. So yeah, I highly recommend X-Men 92, House of 92. Again, I'm hoping that's 92. I can't read Roman numerals, but yeah. Would I suggest reading the other X-Men 92 comics? There's only 2. I don't know where you can find them. I'm gonna have to go out and dig for 2 of them, especially the first one, since it's a adaptation of, it's a tie-in to Secret Wars, so that's gonna be a little hard to track down. But yeah, I would say you could still read this without reading the other 2 miniseries. So yeah, give this a shot. Even if you weren't a fan of it, you can hear the X-Men theme every time you get to a new issue in here. So there you go, guys. That is pretty much my review for X-Men 92. You guys let me know in the comments below. What did you guys think of that? Think of it. Comment below, let me know. Other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.